till I came here.
Cyberpunk 2077. It's a good game. Oh my god, I've only worn these like once before and everything looks so weird. Like bigger and... Love Cyberpunk. It's not even a good game, it's a great game. Spent about 250 to 300 hours on the next gen version. Probably about that many, if not more or less, on the last gen version, PS4. And it took me a while to get to the PS5 version, but once I did, it really took off from there. It was really... It's funny, because I want to say I started playing this on the base PS4. I played day one launch. I pre-ordered it. And then it's funny, because I feel like not long after I got a PS4 Pro, because this was really early into the streaming days, and that's back when I still had my base PS4, and then eventually switched to the PS5. Had a 1080p monitor for the longest time. Eventually got the 4K HDR thing, which I don't use the HDR, but it's a thing. Wow, I've seen this game get better throughout time, not only with the technology I have, the hardware, but it's come, I want to say, a long way. That's still kind of up in the air, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's come a long way. It was janky, it was buggy, there was glitches, there was problems and issues, and it was so hard to play. Quality of life and the T-posing and the, you know, glitching out of the map, and every possible problem a game could possibly have. Crashing, you know, everything. And I've always played it on console too, so I didn't really have that upper hand with PC, and I was behind, so I didn't even have next gen to really depend on. But even then, there's been so much support. There was I remember that first update, all the patches, the DLC. Holy cow! I've been standing by this game since forever. I knew there was something special about it. I knew it's what I wanted to play, and I wanted it to be a part of me, and how I can begin this journey expressing myself properly through this game, and Blade Runner, Ghost in the Shell, and all the Asian stuff, and Japan, Japanese, Chinese, and the future. And I was like, yes, finally a good Cyberpunk game to play. The only other ones, there's like a Blade Runner game, but it looks kind of indie, point clicker. I have it, I just haven't tried it yet. There's all kinds of cyberpunk-ish indies out there. I have a few, but you know, like this is like a whole different thing. I never played the board game. I've watched all the videos and trailers of. This is like the one game I ever bothered to follow, and like I wanted to know more what was going on behind the scenes, everything. I never played Witcher. You know, it's not even like I started off with like Witcher 3, CD Projekt Red, CDPR, and then went to Cyberpunk. I got to know CDPR through Cyberpunk, which may or may not have been the best way to introduce myself to that studio. But yeah, I mean, I always knew about Witcher. I don't feel like it's my kind of game, but I've been tempted before to give it a chance, and it's fantasy heavy. I'm always in the mood for that. But it just seemed like the super overrated, you know, what's so special about the studio and these guys who can barely speak any English, and I don't know, I'm really picky about my studios. Like, if I don't really know them or know what they've done or like anything that they've been a part of, it's really hard for me to give them a chance, especially when there's big studios like this that are all hyped up and talked about and popular, overrated, trending. I was like, I just didn't. And this was a time where it was like, hey, I'm kind of worried about doing my own stuff, and I was trying to keep up on gaming news and all these things, but I eventually kind of started to live under a rock and tried to focus more on me and what I'm doing and worry about that first. And I just assumed the norm would have been like, hey, Witcher, Cyberpunk. Granted, Cyberpunk stood on its own feet, obviously. I don't think it needed the support from Witcher and CDPR at all that it got. The kind of cross promotion plug thing. But yeah, I just had a feeling because I've played enough games in my lifetime where, you know, hey, I got Japanese games, I got samurai games, ninja games to give me that fix because of Japan and anime. And you know, sometimes I try to seek out like EDM games to really, that's the music I love. Japan as a culture and a country and a people. I love EDM as my music and how I can go about the day and express and really bring out a lot of this. And then I look at Cyberpunk almost as that definitive game that really just screams, this is everything I stand for and everything I believe in, and I'm very pro-future and the next generation, and try to leave the world in a better place than I found it. All those things. You know, live your best life righteously and all the stuff. And what's cool about Cyberpunk is it's like, well, you know, this might be a possible future we can live in, and what can we do to prevent this? These are why these games come out, is to send us these signals and messages like, you know, is there a way we can prevent this from happening? Because as much as I love this game, it's rough, it's jagged, it's edgy, not like in a good way. You know, the first thing you ask yourself, is this a world I want to live in? Is this a world I one day want to be a part of? And it's kind of a hard thing because it's yes and no. You know, and then you're thinking like Elon Musk and Cybertrucks and all the kind of things that revolved around kind of just being confused and lost and not really knowing where we're going with time and where we're at. And I know it's hard because of the technology we have. We're in this very middle ground. But I think when this game came out, when it did, it really just it speaks to you. It's more than just a game, it's a symbol. And it's funny because this game had so many issues when it came out, but when you think about it, it's not about it being charming. You don't really think of it in the same ways like Skyrim or Fallout. You know, the game got a lot of hate, but it's also a good reminder of like, don't trust technology too much and don't put all your faith in the things around you, because you might get disappointed. So there's at least a somewhat, I guess, reasonable message to get out of it right off the bat, but not like that's exactly a good thing, but cutscenes are cool.
About us. Sense a kind of chemistry, you know? Come on. I'm fucking starved.
Okay, food it is. Let's go.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call it cutscenes, but it's similar to the whole Bethesda style. I guess you're not really even able to put in like the cinematic dialogue because you kind of just like walk up to someone and talk to them. That's about it. But obviously there's plenty of movement, there's plenty of animations going on to kind of, you know, you can still call it a cutscene. But yeah, it's a great game. Spent hundreds of hours in it. I literally got these just for... I wanted to use them while playing, but it was hard to see and just uncomfortable, so I just didn't really do it, so... Glad I found a reason to put them on. These things are so cool. Change like any color you want. You can do one side one color, one side the other. You can... They even like strobe a little bit if you want them to. The buttons on the sides. There's a cool skull in the front. Like I handpicked these out. There's a few different ones and I really like these ones. These had the most visibility. It's got like crosshairs right here. Every video I'm like, what do I have without me have gone out of my way like just for that, or what, like a certain game or something. What do I just kind of have that like I can throw into the thing and kind of make it a little more special? And I was pretty stoked to... It's like, yes. Just for recording, it's not, you know, I'm not like actually playing. I have more cool toys too, but this is... There's literally stuff in Cyberpunk that look just like this, so... Like, yeah, I don't have the cool jacket with the LED stuff, and I don't have any merch. I wish I did, but... Because I love this game a lot. Like, I didn't go hard with the whole, like... You know, getting the merch and... I know there's like a Cyberpunk chair, gaming chair you can get. You know, the jackets, the... Pretty much whatever you could end up finding. I mean, every game kind of has all kinds of stuff you can get, but... I guess what I focused a lot of that energy into was just simply playing the game. Like, I wanted to get lost in this world and explore and have an adventure and... You know, go to as many locations as I can and do all the missions, all the side missions, the main story. I played through this 3 times. So far the DLC once. I'm actually planning on playing it for a second time, at least for now. Maybe space it out just because I can. Because you're able to kind of divide it. What's nice is you can divide it up into 3 playthroughs. Like, obviously at first, that first initial playthrough, it's going to be pretty long and you're going to want to take a break or whatever, it's fine. But you got 2 other kind of story scenarios to do, and that's kind of what... I was glad this game found a way to like actually make me want to replay it, other than just the fact that I like it. Like, it gave me an actual legitimate reason to go through everything all over again. And I had no problem doing it. I still went through all the dialogue. I didn't skip anything. It was just... It's fun. It's fun. It's a good game to put on. It's entertaining. It has everything. This is my go-to for even what I watch most of the time. I feel like most people I find are through Cyberpunk. There's always someone playing it. It's a very active... I don't know if or when this game will ever die, to be honest. It'll probably always have some sort of stable community, just like most other big titles like this, but... Yeah, because you know you're gonna find someone that's like, alright, you know, single player game, check. Something to sleep to if I want to, check. Get me through the day, have on in the background, actually watch, and I'm comfortable with the game. I know a lot about it. I've been there, done that. You know, I never went through this game. There was a point where I wanted to make this my main game. You know, I would have no, if I were to ever like not be a variety person and just play this every single day, I would not mind that at all. There's plenty to do. There's a lot of stuff I feel like even today I just haven't really ever, you know, there's always these updates coming out which helps, and new gear, new items, new places, new people, new whatever. Yeah, it's cool. Even the 3 times I've played through it, the problem is I've done just about the exact things each time. And yeah, there's the whole male V, female V. I covered that. At least the big main things you could differentiate. I did that, but I guess what I'm getting at is more of the small things, like, you know, did I get as strong as I could have? Not necessarily, but pretty damn close. Did I collect every single thing I possibly could have picked up? Yeah, but you never know. There could be something on a rooftop. There could be something in a dark alleyway. You just never... You really have to kind of... You might even have to go out of your way and do research and just kind of literally manually check if but that's going into the territory of like 100% trophy hunting, etc., challenge runs, hard mode. It's not really for me. You know, I like this game, but I don't like it that much. I just enjoy casually playing it, and it's just a good time. You know, I realize depending on people's schedules and their lifestyle and their world, and they may only play this one time, and that's kind of a shame. Because I feel like that first time, there's nothing like it, but I think once that second time especially, you can really like start to appreciate it more. And since I've been so close with this game for so long, I've watched it grow, I've watched it get better, I've watched it evolve and change and adapt. You know, it's one of those weird things that kind of, as you get older, so does the game, but like, it ages so well, and it's not that old, but like it goes on this kind of path with you. And I think that's kind of special, because even in the past 4 years, it's, you know, it's been a trip. And, you know, between next gen, between the C word demic thing, yeah, between the struggles and even just in life in general, it could be whatever, family, friends, financial, mental, physical, all these things, like this is a game that really kind of pushed me through. So I respect it, and I'm passionate about it, and I appreciate it. And there's other games I've said maybe similar things about, sure, but this one it's so up there. I can't even place it high enough to... I give it so much praise, like I just can't... I can't really, like... I don't even know. Yeah, the gameplay is cool.
Enemies watching.
Yeah, this game, it really found me at the perfect time because for a while I was never really like, hey, I love Japan. I'm not even gonna go on about that. Hey, I'm starting to remember how important anime is to me. I've always liked EDM. Like everything in my body, everything in my power, everything in my mind, and told me, whispered in my ear to play this game because everything you could possibly want is in it. As a person, as me specifically, that makes up every little detail. But I don't think that was always something I realized. Like, it took me some time to be like, hey, maybe I have found myself finally. Maybe it took a while. I don't know. But this is one of those games that really just kind of helped. I don't know. I wouldn't say take me out of a dark place, like not in like a negative way, but more like a lost place, like knowing who you are and yeah. But yeah, the gunplay is cool. It's good. It's fun. It's not. The combat's not great. The only other bad things I can think of to say about this game is just all the problems it had. That's literally it. But yeah, the gunplay, the melee, it can be loud, it can be obnoxious, there's a lot of stuff going on, there's a lot on your screen, it's overwhelming, it's sensory overload. You can kind of tweak with that a little bit. Like the one thing I did was I didn't do it for the longest time, but turn off, like whenever I get found or spotted, that weird beep. One less thing to kind of overload myself. I liked having there's so many options, sound options, visuals, all that stuff. I liked having a reticle to actually loot a little bit easier and know what I'm looking at, and it does help a little bit. Most games have a reticle default. Like, I love the cinematic kind of no HUD thing, but all you gotta do is turn that off if you really want that like effect type thing. But yeah, you can had it on performance, obviously. The game, a lot of it is EDM related. Like the music is so good. There's a lot of music I ended up liking in the game. So yes, I found some good music, dude. This is music that's not easy to find. It's not necessarily synthwave, but it's like future punk. There's enough different variations of music in the game where there's not one like actual genre of it. Just fine, a little bit for everybody, but I mean, there's two people that are gonna play this game. There's the ones that are like, oh, I love my graphics and it's a big popular game, and then there's those who really just love what the game is about and what it represents, and that's kind of more where I'm with it. But yeah, the game looks nice, man, but especially at the time and even now, it still holds up so good, and it looks great. You start to appreciate the details more and more every time you play, or the longer you look at it and the more time you give it. But a lot of this, it's funny because as EDM related as a lot of this game is, it's pretty obvious, right? A lot of it's like rock and metal related too, like old school boomer dad music. which I'm not crazy about. But it's cool though because it fits the game really well. Like I don't think it would have been done better any other way, but yeah, I love the characters. You know, I really cared about them, and there was moments I cried. I cried a few times. That doesn't happen a lot to me. You just kind of go through it all. You really live this whole life as this person, this, you know, nameless hero type thing, and holy cow. I don't think I've never gone on such a journey with somebody before. Like, there's been many days where I wish I could have just jumped right into the screen and started. It's hard because it's like, well, this game looks kind of hard, or you know, is this a game I want to associate with? And it was tough because, you know, it's kind of bad, but I think it's one of those things that's just intimidating, and you got to give it a chance. Like, it's like living in a sketchy, sus area in general. You know, I think it's one of those things where media and movies just kind of give you this idea that, you know, they want to keep you in your seat, keep you where you're at, keep you stuck. If I got to live into this cool of a world, I really do think I wouldn't be afraid to just kind of like get out there into the world. And you know, there's always a risk, but it's one of those things too where there's such greatness around you that you gotta take advantage of that. It's no different than living exactly where you want to be. Like, you know, this is your life and it's short, and you gotta enjoy being where you are and doing what you're doing and the people you have around. And this whole lifestyle, this whole game, it's not a normal, typical thing people would be a part of. But there is kind of that side of you that does wonder what it would be like, and you know, it's tough because a lot of people in this game, they're, even if they come off bad, they're still good people. Like, there's very clear differences between like good and bad people in this game, but you know, same goes for life too. Yeah, I just think it like helps you kind of like think more and open up more. I mean, I didn't really need any of that, but I appreciated it. Like, the game pushes you to be the best version of yourself. Yeah, plenty of loot, plenty of stuff to do, riding around, hanging out, chilling, vibing. It's an open world. I mean, the game, it's a lot of these games kind of speak for themselves. I mean, it's really, it's just so, it's addicting. It's an addiction. It's a habit for me. Knowing that this game exists and it's always around and I have it and it's accessible, and whenever I want to turn it on, I can do that. And if I'm in the mood for it, or I don't know, I love it. Yeah. Cyberpunk 2077.